trade there coming through from these two squads. 3 players alive for Klas Digital Athletics. Only 2, however, for Loops. Zadine did go down earlier. And now they're in a little bit of a stalemate. Both have to move, but neither wants to move first. Will be very tricky to navigate this terrain, especially with all the teams in front of you. Konina Power have the only compound here, Blank, and that's really what I'm looking at.
Well, this is what I'm talking about, is that, yes, they might have the only compound here, but they cannot effectively hold down the warehouse at the same time. If I'm them, actually, I would do exactly what they're doing right now, which is holding on to the left compound here, which is fantastic. They'll give up the warehouse. It has less tactical advantage on it, less windows to fire out from. Give it up to another team who is probably going to stay there and then get crunched upon by other teams that are moving into the circle itself, which is why Konina Power has opted to hold down a much more constricted area that allows them for more control over the game going forward.
GODSENT love to mount up and send in, call them the cavalry. They're headed in towards Nova XQF, but that's treacherous ground to be advancing into. Jimmy holding the peak of this mountain. Spots out Aerowolf on the back. They said, hang on a minute, we're busy. We'll deal with you in a second. They send him down to his knees and they'll pick that kill up in no time, I'm sure, as the rest of GODSENT just feeling the pain here on the hillside. Only Marley now left standing for them. Might look to get the res. This Potato actually on the off angle does finally get dealt with as Order6 picks it up. The scout out around the edge, maybe try to bait out the peak for Marley, and maybe could pay off. They managed to get one knock earlier onto Jimmy. Looks for a second as well. We'll be able to find it. Paraboy now needs to try and save the day.
Yeah, I mean, Marley's out in the blue. I mean, the funny thing there, XQF was taking a fight with 2 teams. They've cut the losses, though, split into 2, left Order behind there, whereas Paraboy has headed out with co-teammate. Absolutely fine. I don't mind this too much, John. They were fighting 2 teams. They realized, you know what, let's try and go for a higher placement. We need to get into that super weekend.
He's got the first aid. Marley actually took a 2v1 with Nova XQF players, and they managed to get both of them down. That's a really good turn up for GODSENT, especially on the number of kill points they're able to accrue. However, there's still plenty of teams left in it. They will start to drop as Alpha 7 lose a player on the outside. Secret Jin as well will be pushing in from that direction. A brutal shift. The road cross has to come through.
Well, let's head back to that movement from Power 888 earlier on, coming down from the top of that hillside, looking for an area to call home within the center of the circle. It's paid off massively. Now that northeast shift comes through, it's not over the hillside, but it is on top of their new position. They need to hold this down. Loops is in this area, but significantly injured. They have less of their players. Remember that fight they took with 4AM right at the beginning, and the fight just then with Digital Athletics. Abrupt Slayers, though, could be a problem, but we have Nova, Jimmy coming up here, as well as Paraboy pulling up the rear. See what they can do versus the team of Power 888.
Down to 2 players as well. They're currently very, very split. Will be a difficult task to accomplish, but they'll try it. Oh, if anyone could do it, it's Nova XQF. Nice nade, gets a little bit of damage, sends him back from the ridgeline. The question is, do Power 888 know that these kills have come through onto Nova XQF? Have they been tracking that? What I'm going to be looking at as well is Konina Power. They have to mount up and they have to send out. Zeus stand in their way right now, but they both have to move. So they're going to have the advantage when it comes to getting out of this compound, but still, not going to be easy.
They bolster their position a little bit north towards this warehouse. Is the one I said is not great. You can see why, because it's just so open to all these angles from so many teams, but they will have to move forward from here. They thought it was all done and dusted for them once they had that compound within the circle, but it moves off to the north. Now Konina Power has to make a move. They could head up on the eastern side, but here's this fight with Nova XQF. It's just Paraboy.
He's left alone. Last man standing for the squad. Looks for a knock. Will find one. Half HP. Very doable here for against Power 888. Looks for one, but can't make it happen there. Nova XQF get eliminated. 7th place found. Not the turn-up they were looking for, Blank, but nonetheless, they do get themselves towards the scoring positions. Konina Power making their move now as Zeus try to harry them on the push. They've already managed to move 2 into the circle. This is just the reroute coming through. The caterpillar maneuver for Konina Power.
Exactly, trying to control both sides of the roads. Really well done from Gonzo and Black White, providing that suppressing fire down towards Zeus, whilst Axa and Rob Dini make their way across. They control so much of this zone right now on the south side, but they have to clear these angles. Zeus has to go down, but here's Power 888 getting involved in the action.
They managed to find one knock there, but Konina Power still with all 4 players alive. Robdini sends some bullets back their way, takes a skull, and will force the res to come through. Axa, though, suffering as, oh dear, the Abrupt Slayers are chiming in, and Konina Power having a nightmare of a time.
Again though, Loop's still in this one with Carrillo all the way on this northwest edge. He is surrounded by Abrupt Slayer players. You can see down there though, Konina Power still holding strong. A couple of knocks on their side, but they can get away with this one. What's this though? It's Swaggin who will go down sadly to heaven outside the blue. But that's a top 5 finish, did not expect that.
Alpha 7 get eliminated, and I think in the meantime Loops went down. Yeah, there you go. Loops went down, our second place team right now on the week. Are getting eliminated. So 3 teams now left standing. Konina Power, they've managed to keep all 4 alive, which means they are the only team with 4 left in it. Abrupt Slayers, though, they've been popping off this game. We'll see if they're able to continue to do so as everyone has to push a little bit more central.
I do have some question marks in terms of utility for Konina Power. They were in one singular location for such a long time. I really wonder how many bodies they're able to loot there, or how many people actually came up towards them, but they're not looking too bad. It's level 2 vest, level 2 helmets, which is slightly worrying, but all 4 members back up again. Konina Power have been fast on the recovery.
Ooh, they managed to get a knock as well on towards Abrupt Slayers, bringing them down to 2 standing. Nades coming through, forcing them up to the ridge line. The circle shrinking, and it seems like throughout all of this, it's really Power 888 who have managed to get the best position into the circle. However, Konina Power have a ridge line right on the edge.
Oh, 888, again, we mentioned this right at the beginning of the game, John, where he said that having 3 players versus that 4 makes things so difficult. You can't aggressively take as many angles. And now Abrupt Slayers moving him towards Power 888. Konina Power can take advantage of the situation as they move in here.
Brobdini getting a knock there, looking for a confirm as well. Only 1 player now standing for Power 888 as Konina Power looking to swarm. However, the Abrupt Slayers are just over the hill as well, so it's a tricky standoff that they've got to negotiate. Only 1 player standing, as I said. For Power 888, the kills start to get confirmed. Konina Power racking them up, lining them up and knocking them down for now. Abrupt Slayers smoke up their push to make it to that ridge line, giving away their position a little bit, but they will be in the circle.
Mark White sending shots through. Talk about negotiations, and there begins the trades between the teams.
3 teams still standing, but players dropping like flies. Only 1 remains. All of the rest confirmed. The res coming through for Konina Power after they took a knock earlier. A peek was not punished there for the Abrupt Slayers around the edge of the smoke. You can see the terrain causing this no man's land right in the middle between these 2 squads. We'll see how long Power 888 can last as well.
Circle shifts away from Konina Power once again. Do they have any gallop left in them? They've been moving so far from the south side of that circle towards Zone 5, Zone 6. They've been fighting off against everyone. Being able to hold on to all 4 players as well shows some serious skill from this team. And this is what we wanted to see from the EMEA League. But they just fell off in the finals. But feels like now they're returning to form.
Starting to break out there. A nice nade to get an initial knock onto Chari from the Abrupt Slayers, and now Gonzo cresting the ridge, Bold leading the charge. Will go down for his trouble though. The rest of the team now flood over the top as Robdini will be able to take it down from the side. Axa the only knock, and now it's 1 versus 4. Only a limited time left, and it is Konina Power to take it down